God, I've not even started the video and I'm already crying. Hey, howdy, hello. So it is the 15th of December and last Thursday I attended a special viewing of the Hobbit trilogy in View, near where I live, which is basically 8 hours of emotional trauma. Before I go any further, I've not scripted this video. I figured, I'd just start talking and we'll see where I end up, because this is a really, really important series to me and a really important, Earth to me personally, and I didn't want to, shave away its dignity by scripting what I said. I just want it to flow out, so here we go. My first encounter with Middle-earth must be 12 years ago now, and obviously when The Lord of the Rings was first released I wasn't old enough to go see them in the cinema, so all my family traipsed off, and I remember distinctly my sister coming home and explaining exactly what had happened in the movie. Probably the most distinct of these memories of my sister telling me exactly what had happened in the movie was, in the Battle of Helm's Deep, in the Two Towers, where Gimli's like, don't tell the elf. That bit. Well, I remember my sister explaining to me that Aragorn tosses him, and in my mind I saw this massive wall that Aragorn, who obviously I didn't have a clue who he was at this point because I'd never seen any of the movies, but I just had this great image of Aragorn just chucking this dwarf over a wall. Obviously when I got to watching the movies about 6 months later I realised, yeah, it wasn't really true. I didn't tell you that story for no reason. I told you that because Middle-earth to me, no matter how long I have known of it, how long I have been immersing myself in the world, it will always be big and fantastical and magical. So I went to this viewing of the trilogy of The Hobbit, and basically what they did is they had all 3 movies in the same screen. And it was an odd experience being in the cinema with, the same group of people for the same time. It was an odd atmosphere, and even though I didn't talk to any of them, I felt like we were friends. I'm going to compare the experience of watching the Battle of the Five Armies to watching Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's coming to an end, and even though we have the rumours of Peter Jackson making the Silmarillion into movies, I don't know how that's going to turn out. This could be the end for our, visual journey into Middle-earth, and obviously I was pretty sad about that. So with The Hobbit coming to a close, there was that obvious feeling of, sadness and almost grief that there weren't going to be any more of these movies, but I think more than that it was that there wasn't going to be another chance for me to completely bury myself in this world in the way that the movies have allowed me to. I mean, to a point, you can immerse yourselves in the book, you can disappear for hours on end in Middle-earth. It's just one of those stories that is just so easy to do. And the movies give you something slightly different and almost, not entirely, but almost more powerful. I've read around and heard a lot of people saying that they didn't really like the Battle of the Five Armies. The general consensus is that there was too much, or maybe too little stretched over, because obviously there's been a lot of people that have been against this book being made into a trilogy in the first place. So I think having a third movie focusing entirely on one battle, plus the extra little bits of plot we've had added to the story as we've gone along, has disappointed people, I think. Of course, the plot changes and things are always slightly, disconcerting, because you never know how it's going to turn out, but I can tell you now, sitting in that cinema screen with my dad and I think, 4 other people at midnight was an extremely moving experience. And I don't mean moving in the fact that I came out sobbing because 3 of my favourite Tolkien characters had died within about 20 minutes. Spoiler alert, by the way. I mean that it reminded me of a lot of times in my life where Tolkien has touched me, and he's done that a lot. I won't go into specifics because we could literally be here forever, but I guess the general feeling is that Tolkien and Middle-earth has been a bigger part of me than any other book or movie series that I have ever experienced in my entire life so far. As a writer, it's influenced me. As a reader, it's encouraged me to, be brave with what I'm reading. I think this world is so vast, and if I hadn't experienced something so vast and so concise at the same time, I wouldn't be as brave with my choice of reading as I am. As a human being, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all the rest of the stuff I've read has changed me. It's influenced me, it's influenced the way I think. It's, almost given me role models. I have these nights where, and it feels like you have like the entire galaxy in your head and you just feel like you want to explode with all these thoughts that, you don't even have that many thoughts in your head, but you just feel completely overwhelmed by the world and its vastness and your small, insubstantial part in the universe. And there was a moment when I was rewatching An Unexpected Journey in the cinema on my own, like the nerd I am, the scene between Galadriel and Gandalf, and for some reason that I still can't comprehend, I found a strange profoundness or profundity, not entirely sure which one of those is grammatically correct. For a second, the magic of the whole story and the whole, culture of this universe completely overwhelmed me. I couldn't move. I was sat in my seat and it was as if I'd just been hit by this wave, and everything made sense and nothing made sense, and it moved me like nothing has ever moved me before. I suddenly had this strange kind of light bulb moment. There wasn't really a light bulb moment because I don't actually remember realising anything or coming to any understanding of anything, but there was just this clarity, and I was watching it and I could see everything that gets stuck in my brain on those strange nights where I feel like there's the galaxy between my ears. And that's exactly what this series and these books and movies have given to me, is this strange opportunity to connect with these characters. And it's so hard to explain it to people who haven't experienced this before, especially, family or whatever, who don't get that, you have these moments where you meet someone or you read something, or in my case you watch something, and it's like something just clicks and you just feel, for maybe the first time in a while, content. So overall, the entire experience was extremely touching and moving and overwhelming, and I remember coming home at about 2:30 a.m. that night and just being sleepless because it was like, I don't know, I'd been struck by lightning, and I woke up the next day as if it hadn't happened, but for a few hours that night, this sounds so weird, this is gonna sound so weird, but it's like I was looking in a completely clean mirror. Like, everything just made sense in that moment. Even though I couldn't maybe comprehend exactly what was making sense, it just felt like everything was making sense. I'm really sorry if this sounds really weird to you, but I said I wasn't scripting it, and here we are. So all that was left was to say goodbye, and that was pretty traumatic, but I guess I want to say thank you for Tolkien for creating such a wonderful paradise to escape into. I want to thank everyone who's involved in making the movies, because although, there were plot alterations and changes that disappointed a lot of people, it gave me quite a lot, and at the age that I am and the place that I am in my life, it was kind of just what I needed, I guess. So I hope you enjoy it and don't cry as much as I did. I guess, in the end, we all have that thing that is everything to us, and to me, that is Middle-earth, and always and forever will be Middle-earth.